Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got a Chariot. You are fortified. You're a little bit walled off to things in life. You know, it feels like, not in a bad way. I think in a way that's very protective of self. You know, I feel like you got your armor on, let's say, right? And it could be that you're in a situation where you really kind of have to have a thick skin, right? Maybe at work, at home, at school, with family, friends. It sort of feels as if you're trying not to let your soft underbelly be so exposed, right? You're trying not to be so sensitive to things because you might be in a situation that would be very easy to just get, like, I hate to use the word, but triggered by, you know? That we're in a situation where we have to be contained, we have to be disciplined, and we're trying not to let people get to us. I mean, that's what it is, right? Because you've got goals. You got somewhere that you're going. You're in service to something higher that's kind of like saying, okay, I need to focus on this. This is what is important, not this BS bovine excrement stuff over here. Not the entanglements, not the drama over there in that direction. I don't care what they're doing. That's not my problem. And so it feels like there is an intense focus in you right now. There's always this intensity with Scorpio, I feel. I feel like you're somebody that really cherishes the people in your life that you do love and you do care about, and the rest don't matter. Only the people on your chariot with you are the people that are going to get your attention, or that can actually, like, get to you. Everybody else, they get the armor, they get the shield, you know? And I think that's kind of how it has to be right now, because you do have things that you're working on. You do have a life that you're trying to maintain or create, build, and maintain. Okay? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Now, this card does say that you are very loyal. The people that you cherish, they get the very best of you. There is nothing that you wouldn't do to defend the people you love. Okay? So when we say that you're kind of walled off, I mean like you're walled off to the nonsense. But the people there, your people are inside the walls with you, you know. You're very committed. Okay? It feels like there's a sense of family here. We got the Hermit, though. Okay. And the Hermit is good. Both of these cards are kind of like, we're turning our back on the BS. We're turning our back on the stuff that isn't important. So we're focusing on what is important. Okay. And I think this means that, like, you're not giving your attention to everything in life, only to the things that matter. And that shows wisdom. That shows discernment. That shows commitment and loyalty to certain things, to spirit, to family, to the particular friends, or to the work that you're doing, you know. It shows an intensity. It shows a concentration in a way. We got a Queen of Cups, yeah, because you are a sensitive person, you know, and it's good to be sensitive. It's good to understand yourself and know yourself well enough to say, okay, you know what, I've got to kind of shield myself from some things in life because I know that it will affect me. And I don't want to be affected in that way because I got stuff to do, right? So it shows a real self-knowledge. And of course, there's the Seven of Cups. That's the stuff we're trying to avoid. There's all the, you know, bovine excrement. I can't use any different words on YouTube. I don't want to get shut down, you know. This is all that nonsense that we don't want to be part of. And you're leaving it behind you. And your chariot is out of the mud, and you don't want to go back to the mud. Here we have a Five of Cups. We have a Two of Pentacles. Okay? This is pretty serious here. The card of change, harmonious change. Ten of Wands. The star. You're following that's just it. You're following the star, and the star is within you, but the star is also outside of you. And we'll talk about the star card, okay? We have an Eight of Wands, and we've got a Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like this is a limitless leap for you. I feel like this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime, opportunity, very serious thing, because you're following this star. You got your head down. You're just putting in all your effort. This is all of your energy. Level 10 energy. You don't have time for nonsense, because you're going level 10 toward this future, okay? Really nice. And of course, the star is the inner lamp, but also the yellow brick road that's leading you forward, showing you the path that you're supposed to be on. And you're not trying to get distracted by any of these other side trails or side quests or all these other entanglements. You're following your own North Star, your own guiding light, your own divinity on your very own yellow brick road. And you're not trying to go off trail and get mixed up with any of these other things, Anyway, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're going to set it down right over here with Michael Scott right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this program you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments, okay? Let's look around the room. We've got major, major, and major. So the major energy within you and the major energy outside of you. Right? And right now, the name of the game for you, Scorpio, keep your head down, follow that light. Don't go into any of this other nonsense. Follow the light, okay? Because that light's very important for you. We've got, three majors. We got fire and fire. We got water, water, water. We don't have any air right now because you're not engaging in any of the nonsense. And then, of course, you have your earth energy and your earth energy over here. The Five of Cups. Okay, you're someone that understands emotions. You feel what you're feeling. You're not trying to repress your emotions, because then it becomes, emotional volatility. We don't want that. We're not trying to suppress anything. We're trying to feel how we feel and acknowledge how we feel, but we're trying not to get attached to any feelings. Right? We're not trying to identify with them and make them who we are. We're trying to maintain our eyes on the star in the sky. Even when there's storm clouds and rain, and we're like, okay, I see it, okay. Try not to lose sight of it. Try not to lose sight of what's really important. The star, that guiding principle, the guiding path, the force, the light. Despite the weather, despite the turbulence, despite the turmoil and the tumultuousness of life, you're trying not to get, you're trying not to let the boat capsize. You're trying not to get distracted or kind of pulled down by that energy, which would be us kind of getting back to the Seven of Cups there. But you're acknowledging how you feel in life. You're not trying to ignore your emotions. You're not trying to repress them. You're trying to acknowledge them and let them go. Saying, okay, clouds, I see you, but get out of the way so I can see the star. And that's, I think, why we don't have the air energy. We don't have any swords cards here, because we're not engaging with this. We're not trying to have a dialogue with these feelings. We're not trying to get entangled with them. We're not trying to go find the source of them. We're not being motivated. They're not occupying our mind. We're just saying, okay, I feel you. I got to let you go. It's like waves coming up on shore. Okay, I feel you. You can go again. And it's like we're meditating, and we're having thoughts, let's say. And in meditation, what do they teach you? Like, look at your thoughts as like clouds. You'll have a thought, and you might get attached to it for a minute, but then you say, oh, okay, got to let it go. And I got to get back to the breath. That's all meditation is. It's just getting back to the center, getting back to the breath, pulling it back. It's that effort of pulling ourselves back. That's the practice. Meditation isn't like sitting there with just focusing on my breath and nothing else. No, it's about bringing ourselves back to the breath, or to the mantra, or to the tip of your nose. This morning I was doing my meditation, and I was focusing on the breath, but I was focusing on the sensation of the air entering the tip of my nose. It's a really subtle sensation, Most of the time we're not aware of it. We focus on we focus on that little sensation, and anytime our mind wanders, we bring it back. And the same thing with the emotions. When we start to feel a feeling that's going and taking us away in some direction, we pull it back to our central light, that North Star, whatever it is. And I feel like you're somebody who really is good at dealing with your emotions, or we're learning to be. Okay? We're learning to be good at dealing with these things. And so this might be your central work right now, is to just not get too caught up in the emotions of the day, or the drama of the situation, the drama of life, or of the work, the path that we're on. Not to let ourselves get too identified with how we feel in any given moment. And instead keeping our eyes fixed on our North Star, right? So the Hermit, that's the name of the game for the Hermit. The Hermit is kind of shielded. The Hermit's wearing a cloak of invisibility. It's saying, like, I don't want any of these, crazies to notice me. I just want to do my work. I want to focus on what I'm focusing on. I'm trying to block out the noise, And I think you're doing a good job. Again, no swords cards. The Hermit has blocked out all the noise. I feel like you are somebody who probably has a meditation practice or something similar. Even if it's not a formal meditation, it's something like meditation. It's something that shuts down the sensory input so that you can find stillness and clarity. The Chariot card is a card, look, they're sitting in a meditative posture. So this is a card of meditation. This is a card of, both of these cards are cards of kind of shutting down or limiting the sensory input so that we can focus our salient energy on what we need to, so that we can get our attention sort of honed in on the work at hand, whatever it is. So both of these cards together, oof, right? Powerful. And I feel that you're very good at that. Even if it's not formal meditation, it's something like that. It's something that allows you to shut down the sensory input, bring yourself back to center, and do what you need to do. Okay, whatever it is in the moment. The way a baseball player might have to block out the sounds of the crowd in order to throw that 100-mile-an-hour fastball, or to hit that home run or something, right? Or try to anyway. So this is a very important practice for us. And there are many different ways of doing this. For me, it's literally, I close the door to my studio. It's soundproofed in here. I wish I could show you my studio. It's not that extraordinary, but it's pretty quiet in here. And so I shut myself in the studio. I turn off all the lights. It's pitch black. It's silent, and that helps, right? And then we have our thoughts and feelings that we deal with, in the body, sensations and things like this. And that might be where we have our Hermit energy too, that we might be sort of learning to get in touch with our body more, and how to listen to our body, but also not be distracted by our bodies, because the body will get restless. The body will have aches and pains and cramps, and it'll itch and it'll twitch and stuff. But it's just like, I just got to stay doing what I'm doing. I've got to focus on this, It's interesting too, because we think of something like exercise. And when you're exercising, your body's kind of uncomfortable, right? You're straining it. You're micro tearing the muscles, and you're getting sore, and you're kind of, you're doing the hard work on your body there in a gym or exercise kind of situation. Now, you could either ignore that by focusing on music or something else, or you can focus on that more, right? Be present with that sort of emotion, or that sensation, or that feeling, right? There's a reason why our emotions, we call them feelings. It's the same way, like your muscles are sore because you're working out, and that's a feeling too. So we could be like focusing on the emotion, using it as a point of concentration to sort of stay present, stay in the moment and focus, but not identifying with it, acknowledging it and not ignoring it, not being distracted from it, right? But using it as the point of concentration and allowing it to be present, and then noticing when it's not present any longer. And so I think that's a big thing to talk about too. Like, we're always aware when something hurts, but what about the feeling of relief when it stops hurting? When we notice that something is gone from our life and we feel better. So that's kind of tying us into our Seven of Cups. When something is behind us, it really sucked to be in here. It felt bad to be in here. But how does it feel now that this is getting further from you? It feels good, right? That's the kind of the relief from the relief from pain is, you know, that's such a very positive and pleasurable feeling. Okay. And so I like the water energy that we have here, because it really is us getting in touch with a lot of those kinds of things, but not letting those things distract us, and certainly not recognizing what we need to recognize so we don't get pulled back into the Seven of Cups. This seems like it was a toxic situation. Maybe there are just bad elements, negative people, low vibrational things going on, low energy things at your job or in your home or at school, at work, or something like this. Try not to be so affected by those negative people, the negative energy or the low vibrations, not to get stuck in the mud, not to get pulled into the swamp, but to also recognize how we feel when those energies come around. Oh, okay, I feel this way. How do we feel when those energies leave again? Oh, I feel much better. You know, and the boss comes into your office, well, I kind of, all right, I know that feeling. But then when the boss leaves and shuts the door and you're back to, that's a good feeling. So we have to recognize all of those kinds of feelings, right? The good and the bad, and not get attached to either one, but just to recognize them and let them go, you know. Because you are a very sensitive person, and you're lifting the veil of your own emotions here. Inside of you, this is an emotional honesty. This is emotional transparency. This is also a card of self-love and radical self-love, right? Saying, I know I'm a sensitive person, so I know that I have to try to, I have to stay away from certain things, or not get involved, and not let my mind get attached to certain things, people, places, things, because I know how it's going to affect me. So we're, in a way, we're sort of very protective of our own energy right now, okay? And I think that's a good thing. And these cards are definitely fortified and protective of their energy, because you're trying to do something very significant in life. You're doing this Two of Pentacles work. Harmonious change. You're trying to better your life. You're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to get better. You're trying to go farther. You're trying to, you know, you're trying to improve the quality of your life. You're trying to put one foot in front of the other. You're trying to be very proactive, right? You're trying to be the magician. The magician is the one that can cause change in conformity with will, which equals harmonious change. A change in life that is harmonious with your destiny, with your star, with your soul and spirit, with your will. Okay? So we're trying to navigate toward our North Star, and we got to deal with all the water, all the wind, and mostly the water, right? The waves on the ocean. We got to deal with that. And still do the right thing to keep navigating. So this might be little minor course corrections. If you're even 1 degree off course, you're going to be thousands of miles from where you want to go. So I feel like this is like little micro movements, left, right, you know, 5-degree down bubble, whatever it is that is going to keep us on that path. And you're trying to be very proactive here. Okay. I feel like this is, I feel like you're making a huge leap. I feel like this is going to be a big improvement on your life. I feel like your life is really going in a profound direction. Okay, this is serious stuff, especially with this Knight of Pentacles at the end. But Path of the Serpent. Let's talk about this stuff. The Ten of Wands. Okay, general energy. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. The Ten of Wands is maximum effort. Okay, this is something that is taking all of your time, effort, energy, and or money. This is a very significant thing. This is basically saying that when you're here in this zone, you are doing 110% this one thing. Okay. So it feels like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. It feels like you have a heavy responsibility. And so, yeah, we don't want the distractions. I'd rather not have these waves of emotion. I need to focus on what I'm doing so I can get done. And it is this kind of fire to earth electrical circuit of creation that is the magician energy, right? The magician is the one that can cause change in conformity with will. Now, the star is always trying to teach you how to be a magician. Oh, I forgot to start the timer. Whoops, I don't know how long this video is going to be. the fire and earth is that spiritual electrical circuit of creation, okay? And it's usually the heart and mind that get in the way of that. When we have our will, our intention, our impulse, our creative surge of energy, we want it to manifest on earth as a practical reality. What gets in the way of this circuit is, of course, the human heart and mind, the water and the air. Your air is focused, but your heart is still, there's still, I don't know if I wouldn't call it anxiety necessarily, but there's still a little bit of turbulence in your emotions, right? And that's what we're trying to stabilize. Now, anytime we get a 5, we start looking around for the 4. We got to stabilize the, we need less clouds in the sky and less waves on the ocean. It's always easier to sail when there is just, when the water's like glass, you know? But smooth seas never made a great sailor. Easy conditions, perfect scenarios, perfect alignments never made a great magician. We only do that, we only become a good sailor or a great magician through challenges, through dealing with, through being out on the stormy seas and still finding a way to navigate, 0 degrees north, right? And the best magician is the one that can sort of improvise. When something goes wrong, we can figure it out and we can still pull off this magic, you know. And so I feel like that's why we've got a little bit of this turbulence here. And we're honest enough with ourselves to say, okay, I gotta sort of get away from some of these things because it's, because we are very sensitive to energies. I think especially the emotional vibes of other people, you're very sensitive to that right now. So we do need our cloak of invisibility to sort of protect us as we maintain our discipline. And this is going to be an amazing future for you. This is going to be a huge leap. Okay? The 10 of Wands, like I said, is a lot of discipline in your energy. There's only 24 hours in the day, and you have allocated them to a certain path, a certain life, a certain future. Okay. The star card, like I said, is the star inside of us, but it's also the star outside that's helping us navigate. The star does 2 things. When we allow the light to come into us, shows us where our blockages are, shows us the truth about ourselves, right? Gives us this internal clarity, shows us where our buttons are, shows us where our knots of karma, our weak spots, our sore spots, our triggers, right? So that we can be honest and we can acknowledge them. And we can say, okay, they're there. I know they're there. Once we start doing that, phase 2 kicks in and the light starts to shine out from us. And not only are we radiating our own light and heat, but it also is illuminating the path before us. It's making it's creating a yellow brick road for you, okay? And so that light that the Hermit is following is that light inside that's then spilling outside and showing us the path, right? I mean, and that's why you can see the Hermit's lamp has these rays of light that are shining off of it. Because that lamp, we can't help but be a beacon. You can't help but be an example for other people right now, okay? That other people, I mean, people are noticing you. You can't help it. You're radiating this sort of discipline, this light, this creativity, this intensity, like I said at the beginning. But that light, while it is also attracting other people, and you're sort of drawing attention to yourself a little bit, but it's also showing you the path. It's telling you what steps to take, right? Left, right, 5-degree down bubble. It's showing you the pathway that you need to walk. Yeah. And so that's the star. This is your own soul. This is spirit. This is source. And it's leading you to a new place, a new land in your life. I don't know if you're publishing something or what you're doing, but you are, I kind of feel like you write poetry or something, you have a poetry book. Maybe you already published something. I feel like you are divinely inspired right now, and that's taking your focus. And it's kind of like when we have this sense of purpose in life, a lot of this other stuff just seems like a bunch of flies buzzing in our ear. You know, it just feels like an annoyance. It feels like, I just get away. Like the things that used to really capture our attention, they just seem like nothing anymore. That seems like, why would I waste my time? You know, I feel like that's where you're at right now. Okay, we do have a little bit of a card of anxiety here with the 8 of Wands. But to me, it's kind of, this is more of a, this is more of a magician type of energy to me right now, because this is Mercury in Sagittarius. This is Saturn in Sagittarius, by the way. So, I might check out the Sagittarius reading if I were you. But the Saturn in Sagittarius is saying that I have the discipline and the focus to direct my attention where it needs to go. And this is, of course, the wisdom, the magic of directing your attention where it needs to go. You can't scatter your energy to the 8 winds, right? Or the 4 winds, but there's 8 of them. You can't scatter your energy in that way, because then you will accomplish nothing, right? So we allow ourselves to be distracted, and suddenly my attention is over here, my attention's over here, my attention's over here, over here, over here. So the idea here is that we are sort of magnifying our light and our heat in one particular direction, and that's it. And so that light is coming through us and is being projected out into our world in a way that is clear, in a way that is intense. It is a focusing of that beam of light rather than just sort of a scattered light. It's a focused light, like it's going through a magnifying glass, like it's being sort of, well, like it's being, directed through a prism. Yeah. And that prism, of course, is your own unique soul, your own personality. Right. So to me, this is a very magical card. And it's kind of saying that through the right focusing of your energies and basically when you focus your attention in one general direction, everything else becomes dark. Right. You notice when you focus on one thing, one object, like a few inches from your eyes or like a foot or two away, everything else in your field of vision blurs a little bit, It's the bokeh a little bit, right? So it's like that with attention. When we focus on the one thing, everything else blurs a little bit. And that is, that's sort of creating this, it's kind of a magical rainbow. And that rainbow is the same as like this, the rainbow bridge. It's also like this, the yellow brick road that I talk about, that shows us the path and allows us to use our own unique skills and talents. It's our very own yellow brick road. No one else can travel it. No one else can see it. Only we can see it. We might have companions on there that are walking the road with us, but maybe they don't know. Maybe their yellow brick road, if they know it, if they've seen it, if they've seen their own yellow brick road, is intersecting ours, right? But the hermit's sort of going their own path anyway, right? The hermit's the one that is following their own light. And if everybody is following their own path, there will be a lot of intersecting. But no two paths are the same. You can't step in the same river twice. The Tao that can be traveled, the path that can be walked is not the eternal path, Everybody has their own unique sort of yellow brick road, while we all have maybe a collective spiritual destiny. We all have our human paths, our human lives are a bunch of winding, twisting, intersecting roads. Yeah. But the ability to focus your energy is allowing you to then have the right kind of refraction where the rainbow appears. And you can follow that rainbow to your pot of gold. Yeah. And it's sort of similar to what we see with the Knight of Pentacles here at the end. This is your vision of the future. This is you seeing the mountain that you have to climb. And I kind of feel like the rainbow, and it kind of looks like it is a little bit. You can kind of sort of imagine that there's a rainbow leading you to the top of that mountain, right? So that you know what mountain is yours, and you know what's waiting for you at the top, and you know how to get there. Now it's just a matter of moving the feet. We've had the vision. This is the card that's looking into the future, and we see the long-term goals. We see the color of the wallpaper. We see the furniture in the living room. I know what the life is. I know who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing down the road. I've seen the vision through the right refraction of light. And now all I have to do is move the feet in that direction, and I'll get there. So I feel like this is a very, very important time for you in your life. I want to look at the mystery card. And I would like the mystery card to be the Magician. I think if we get the High Priestess, we get the High Priestess, the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, the Universe card, or a Six of Cups. Those would be quite nice, but I kind of feel like it's going to be some swords. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Seven of Cups. We skipped right over the 6. We went to the 7. Right back to the 7 of Cups. Sometimes the sometimes the things that are bad for us may masquerade as things that are very good for us, right? Both of these cards are the Seven of Cups, did you know? Look how different they are. This one shows the masquerade. This one is when the mask comes off. We see things for what they really are. And I don't want to have anything to do with that. Before we're here, we think, oh, those are fun. Those are good things. Those are nice. Wow, right. I don't mind. But then once we have a focus, once we connect with that sense of purpose and destiny and that divine energy within us and all around us, we start to see these for what they are, right? Bovine excrement, right? This looks quite nice, but it's all, you know, it reminds me of that movie, The Gate. Do you remember The Gate? Part 2, I think it was. The Gate Part 2. Anyway, yeah, the masquerade, right? And I think once your eyes open, you can't put the scales back on your eyes, you know. You can't unsee it. And once you recognize certain things in life as just for what they truly are, it loses its ability to glamorize you. This is still, ooh, appealing. Ooh, there's stuff in here, prizes. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Once you see it for what it is, you can't unsee it. It's like one of those optical illusion things on the internet. But once you see it one way, it's hard to like twist your mind to see it the other way again. And that's what the Seven of Cups are like. So once we recognize the distractions, you know, once we notice these kinds of things for what they are, they're going to lose their appeal. And we're not going to care about things anymore the same way. Because they're not important. We see them for being drains of energy. We see them for being swamps, quicksand. We see them for just being, you know, kind of toxic or diminishing entities or activities or habits or hobbies or people or whatever, rather than the bright, shiny, pretty things that we thought they were. Okay? And so when you're on the spiritual path as you are and you're in this hermit mode, the things that once appealed to you may not appeal to you anymore, and you may see them for the distractions that they truly are. Once you get further advanced on the mystical path, the magical path, the spiritual path, that's going to be a very major thing, and that's going to be a marker. Let it be a milestone for you if you haven't experienced that yet. It's a milestone on the spiritual path when those things in life that once caught your attention now seem like meaningless wastes of time. Okay. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link in the video description. New readings for Scorpio Wednesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you want to watch all the readings at the website, go to doveandserpenttarot.com or find me on Patreon. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. The readings here are totally free, and it really does support the channel. It helps us stay in the algorithm and all that good jazz. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.